Welcome back to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about top 10 causes of cancer. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for future updates. Cancer is a disease characterized by uncontrolled cell growth and tumor formation due to genetic abnormalities. DNA damage and genomic instability are the primary causes of sporadic, non-familial malignancies. Inherited genetic mutations cause a small percentage of malignancies. The majority of cancers are caused by environmental, lifestyle, or behavioral factors. Human cancer is generally not communicable, though oncoviruses and cancer germs can cause it. The term environmental, as used by cancer researchers, refers to everything that interacts with humans outside of the body. The environment encompasses not just the biophysical environment, such as exposure to pollutants or sunlight, but also lifestyle and behavioral influences. Number 10. Genetics. A guy with familial adenomatous polyposis has several colon polyps in his colon. Despite the fact that there are over 50 hereditary cancers, only about 0.3% of the population carries a cancer-related genetic mutation, which accounts for just 3 to 10% of all cancer cases. The great majority of malignancies are not passed down, through the generations, sporadic cancers. An inherited genetic flaw is the primary cause of hereditary malignancies. A cancer syndrome, also known as a family cancer syndrome, is a hereditary condition in which inherited genetic abnormalities in one or more genes predispose afflicted persons to cancer development, and may also cause cancer to develop early. The risk of cancer is elevated in cancer syndromes, however the risk varies. Cancer is not the major symptom of some of these disorders, and it is a rare side effect. Number 9. Smoking. Tobacco usage is linked to a variety of cancers, and is responsible for 80% of lung cancer cases. Tobacco use has been linked to cancers of the lung, throat, head and neck, stomach, bladder, kidney, esophagus, and pancreas for decades. There is some evidence that there is a modest increased risk of myeloid leukemia, squamous cell sinonasal cancer, liver cancer, colorectal cancer, gallbladder cancer, adrenal gland cancer, small intestine cancer, and other juvenile malignancies. Tobacco smoke contains more than 50 carcinogens, UCHs, nitrosamines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Tobacco is responsible for almost 1/3 of all cancer deaths, in affluent countries and 1/5 worldwide. In the United States, lung cancer death rates have followed smoking patterns, with rises in smoking followed by large increases in lung cancer death rates, and more recently, drops in smoking rates followed by decreases in lung cancer death rates in men after 1990. However, the number of smokers around the world continues to rise, leading to what some organizations refer to as a tobacco pandemic. Number 8. Materials. Some compounds induce cancer primarily by their physical impacts on cells, rather than their chemical effects. Prolonged exposure to asbestos, naturally occurring mineral fibers, that are a significant cause of mesothelioma, a cancer of the serous membrane, usually the serous membrane enclosing the lungs, is a good illustration of this. Other asbestos-like fibers, both natural and synthetic, such as wollastonite, attapulgite, glass wool, and rock wool, are thought to have comparable effects. Powdered metallic cobalt and nickel, as well as crystalline silica, are non-fibrous particle elements that cause cancer, quartz, cristobalite, and tridymite. Physical carcinogens must usually enter the body, for example, by inhaling small particles, and must be exposed for years to cause cancer. The following are examples of common occupational carcinogens. Number 7. Alcohol. Chronic alcohol abuse can cause liver cirrhosis, as seen above, and the development of hepatocellular carcinoma, a kind of cancer of the liver. A chemical carcinogen is alcohol, for example. Alcohol is categorized as a Group 1 carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Alcohol is responsible for 10% of malignancies in males, and 3% of cancers in females in Western Europe. Alcohol is responsible for 3.6% of all cancer cases, and 3.5% of cancer deaths worldwide. Alcohol consumption has been linked to an increased incidence, mouth, esophageal, pharyngeal, laryngeal, stomach, liver, ovaries, and colon cancers. Increased exposure to acetaldehyde, a carcinogen and breakdown product of ethanol, is the fundamental mechanism of cancer development. Other theories include alcohol-related nutritional deficits, DNA methylation alterations, and the creation of oxidative stress in tissues. Number 6. Diet. Some foods have been related to certain types of cancer. Individuals who consume red or processed meat have an increased chance of acquiring breast cancer, prostate cancer, and pancreatic cancer, according to studies. The presence of carcinogens in food cooked at high temperatures may account for some of this. High-fat diet, alcohol consumption, red and processed meat consumption, obesity, and a lack of physical activity are all risk factors for colon cancer. Gastric cancer has been linked to a high-salt diet. Aflatoxin B1, a common food contaminant, has been linked to the development of liver cancer. Chewing betel nuts has been linked to mouth cancer. The link between nutrition and the development of specific cancers could explain some of the disparities in cancer incidence between countries. Gastric cancer, for example, is more common in Japan, due to the prevalence of high-salt diets, whereas colon cancer is more prevalent in the United States, due to the greater consumption of processed and red meats. Immigrant communities tend to adopt their new country's cancer risk profile within 1 to 2 generations, implying a strong relationship between food and cancer. Number 5. Obesity. Excess body weight is linked to the development of many forms of cancer in the United States, and it is a role in 14 to 20% of all cancer fatalities. Obesity is linked to almost 85,000 new cancer diagnoses in the United States each year. People who had bariatric surgery to lose weight had a lower cancer incidence and mortality rate. Obesity has been linked to colon cancer, breast cancer after menopause, endometrial cancer, kidney cancer, and esophageal cancer. Obesity has also been connected to liver cancer development. The present understanding of how fat causes cancer is based on aberrant amounts of metabolic proteins, such as insulin-like growth factors, and sex hormones, estrogens, androgens, and progestogens. Adipose tissue also contributes to the development of cancer by creating an inflammatory environment. Number 4. Hormones. Invasive ductal carcinoma of the breast is seen under the microscope. The tumor is the pale, crab-shaped lump in the center, which is surrounded by healthy yellow fatty tissue. Some hormones promote cell proliferation, which aids in the development of cancer. Insulin-like growth factors and their binding proteins are involved in cancer cell proliferation, differentiation, and death, implying that they may play a role in carcinogenesis. Hormones play a role in sex-related diseases, such as breast cancer, endometrial cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, and testicular cancer, as well as thyroid cancer and bone cancer. Daughters of breast cancer patients, for example, have much greater estrogen and progesterone levels than daughters of non-cancer patients. Number 3. Infection and inflammation are two different things. Infectious infections are responsible for about 18% of cancer cases worldwide. This percentage varies greatly between regions of the world, ranging from 25% in Africa to less than 10% in the developed world. The most common infectious agents that cause cancer are viruses, but bacteria and parasites also play a role. Infectious pathogens that enhance cancer risk frequently cause DNA damage or genomic instability. Number 2. Viruses. The human papillomavirus, HPV, is the most prevalent virus that infects the female reproductive system. Cervical cancer can occur in women as a result of infection. Cervical and liver cancer are both linked to viral infection. An oncovirus is a virus that can cause cancer. Human papillomavirus, cervical carcinoma, Epstein-Barr virus, B-cell lymphoproliferative disease, and nasopharyngeal carcinoma, Kaposi's sarcoma herpes virus, Kaposi's sarcoma and primary effusion lymphomas, hepatitis B and C viruses, hepatocellular carcinoma, and human T-cell leukemia virus 1 are some of them, T-cell leukemias. Number 1. Bacteria and parasites are two types of bacteria. Schistosoma hematobium eggs within the bladder lining histopathology. As observed in Helicobacter pylori-induced gastric carcinoma, certain bacterial infections raise the risk of cancer. Chronic inflammation or direct activity of some of H. pylori's virulence factors may be involved in the bacteria's ability to cause cancer. Schistosoma hematobium, squamous cell carcinoma of the bladder, and the liver flukes, Opisthochus vivarini and Clonorchis sinensis, are parasitic illnesses strongly linked to cancer, cholangia carcinoma. The cancer-causing mechanism appears to be inflammation produced by the worm's eggs. Certain parasite infections can lead to an increase in the presence of carcinogenic chemicals in the body, which can lead to cancer development. Lung cancer has been associated to tuberculosis infection, which is caused by the Mycobacterium M. tuberculosis. What do you think about this video? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.